This has happened at least 2 times distinctly that I can remember, and other smells, cookies, smoke, mint, that I'm not sure what they mean. Most recently, I was on a trip in France. While I'm there, it's 2 a.m., and I get a heavy, pointed, quick scent of embalming fluid. I said, "Someone just died," and kept scrolling. Then I thought I should text my family, just in case, but didn't want to seem dramatic. When I woke up the next day, I had texts from my mom. My uncle had died. Years before, I got the scent, and it was a friend's grandparent. I know I've gotten it more often than that because I'm able to associate it with something. But those two specifically I think about. It seems if it's a light scent, it's not family. If it's heavy, it is. This is my weird talent that I think I carry. I haven't told anyone, but I know it's there. France confirmed it. I don't doubt it anymore. When I was 6, I moved into this new house built around the 1950s in a big town. When I was 7, 8, I started staying home alone. Throughout the summer, I would be alone from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. most days, and I would spend my days doing what normal kids in the late 2000s did, which is watch DVD Barbie movies and wash dishes. While I would be home alone, I could feel something watching me. It wasn't a physical person, but I don't know where a legit paranormal subreddit is, aka I knew. When I was at my living room couch and my outside-facing sink, I would feel something there, staring, like a sixth sense, and my eyes would wander over for a split second. Or I would turn around at the sink, see it there, blink, and it's gone. He would always be in the same doorway, peeking over the side door frame. He had a black leather gloves and a brown leather mask. No holes, divided in 3 horizontal sections. This happened on and off for 2 months, and then I had a breakdown that I was seeing and hearing things to my mom, and she started sending me to daycare. About the hearing things, I would be alone in my room practicing piano, and I would hear my name called right at my bedroom door, just OP, over and over and over again. And I would keep leaving my room to see if my parents needed me for something, and they would be in the kitchen or on the couch. I went through some abuse later, and when I went to the hospital due to depression, I heard my name called out really loud when I was about to sleep. I went straight to the nurse, and they gave me a pill to help me sleep because I was pretty shook. Never heard it again. Really, I'm just here to see if someone could either relate or help me interpret this. If anyone has more questions or needs something explained a little more, I don't know how Redditors do it. So this is my first ever post, so go easy on me. I've always had some kind of connection to the other side. Growing up, I saw shadows, heard things moving at night, etc. In college, I went to visit my birth mom and her new husband at his house in southern Texas. This house, I learned, had been in his family for 100+ years and had many deaths on the property. I was supposed to stay with them for a few nights, and it ended up me only staying for 1 night because of the occurrences that took place. I learned that I was supposed to sleep on the couch that his ex-wife passed away on from cancer. His uncle died in another room, and his grandmother hurt herself in the adjacent barn. Multiple hauntings occurred in this house, including 2 demon children that would scratch my birth mother's legs, soldiers from the Civil War that were buried on the property. The uncle would sit at the kitchen table drinking, etc. The night I stayed there, still makes me nervous to think about. It was around midnight, and I could not sleep. All of a sudden, the power goes out, and it is pitch black and completely silent. I have my phone, and I'm getting what little light it is producing, and notice the blanket hanging over the doorway is moving. Next, I hear footsteps behind it. I start freaking out and run past this down the hallway to their room. My birth mom comes out and goes to the room and notices the lights at the neighbors are on and says, "You know they're just fucking with you, right?" She opens the door and yells, "Turn the lights back on." And then on they turned. I left the next day. Scariest experience so far. Last night, my boyfriend and I left a restaurant after dinner, and it was super cold outside. I haven't been feeling good all day, and I knew it was going to progress. We go upstairs to the bedroom to watch TV. I feel so bad that I can't even open my eyes, and I have the chills. It made me cry, and I can usually handle pain. I fall asleep for an hour from 9 to 10 p.m.-ish. My boyfriend is sitting next to me still watching TV, and I try to get up. He said, "No, babe, let me go make you some tea, go back to sleep," and walked out the door. I was laying there in pain for a second when I heard him close the bedroom door. I hear him downstairs in the kitchen, and all of a sudden, I hear someone whisper, "Babe," right next to me. It sounded so much like my boyfriend. I wasn't asleep, I was wide awake, and like I said, I heard my boyfriend downstairs. Immediately after that, though, I feel my chills and headache being sucked out of me. It felt like it was going out of my body through my back. I was laying on my stomach at the time. I don't know if it went away out of an adrenaline rush or if the person whispering was trying to relieve me. I tried telling my boyfriend, and he was like, "The mind is a very powerful thing. I believe you were half asleep." Throughout my life, I always feel like something is protecting me very subtly, and I think this is the first contact it's made with me. What are your thoughts on this? I know I was awake. I've worked as a security officer for going on 4 years now in this hospital. It's a very old hospital, and only the ER is open 24/7. The rest of the hospital closes at 1900. I've had several things happen that I simply cannot explain, but since I'm a skeptic, I always try to rationalize things. I've caught several EVPs as well and have the video, but don't want to self-promote, so let me know if I can safely post it. These are my experiences and not fabricated. These are in no specific order. Number 1. Was coming out of my office when I spotted someone in all black at the very end of the hall. It was far enough away that I couldn't make out details, just a black, human-shaped thing. I laid eyes on it for just a second or two when it darted into a doorway, like really fast. I ran towards it, and the doorway was empty and the door was locked. The only way in is with a key, and I was the only one in that part of the hospital that night. I, of course, went into the office, but no one was outside. Number 2. One night at around 0200, I was sitting at my desk in the security office. The office has a closet located within arm's reach of where I'm seated. Out of nowhere, there were 2 very loud and very distinct bangs on the closet door that sounded like it came from the other side. It was so distinct that I actually remember the noise coming from the upper right-hand part of the door. It nearly gave me a heart attack, and after I fell out of my chair, I opened the closet door and found nothing inside that could have fallen or hit the door. Just some old office supplies on a shelf. I'm still perplexed by this one the most. Number 3. I was getting off the elevator on the 3rd floor of the hospital when I heard some faint noise coming down one of the hallways. I followed the noise, and it got louder. Turns out, in the last room down this hallway, the TV was on and set to max volume. This is an empty floor that is not being used during the day or night, so no one should be up here at any period of time. I turned on the volume on the TV, then switched it off. 2 hours later, when doing a round, the TV was on again and set back to max volume. I repeated the routine and left. On my last round, at 0400, I found the TV on and maxed out again. This time, I just unplugged it. Number 4. During my night shifts, when making rounds, I will routinely get the feeling as if I'm being followed or watched. After looking into EVPs on YouTube, I decided to start recording during my rounds when that anxious feeling hit me. I have caught both male and female voices on these videos. I can post a link or DM you if you want it. I'm not a YouTuber or anything, so I don't care about the views. Number 5. We have a small chapel in the hospital on the main floor. It's located in a hallway that can't be accessed by anyone after hours. I've seen this door open a few inches by itself once. It was latched, and I don't think the AC or a draft could twist the handle and unlatch the door. Another time between rounds, it was standing wide open, when on the previous round, it was latched shut. No idea. Number 6. This hospital had an older separate building located behind it that was once used as an end-of-life hospice throughout the early 1900s. It was shut down and later used as an office area for around 10 years before being demolished altogether just 2 years ago. It was 2 floors and did have an elevator. After it was demolished, for about 3 months afterwards, our security phone was getting several calls a week from the no longer existing elevator emergency phone. It's the button you would press if the elevator got stuck. It was always quiet on the other end, but no idea why it was ringing with that number. Number 7. Alone on a quiet floor, and I will sometimes hear random things fall down in random rooms or hear doors shut that I could not locate. Heard a woman's child crying once very softly for a minute or so, but could not locate anyone. Again, no one should have been on that floor. I'm not saying these are proof of anything paranormal. These are just an assortment of things that have happened to me that I can't explain with easy logic. I'm a skeptic, but after working here, I do keep my mind a bit more open. I will answer questions if anyone has any.